Hi, it's Damon Gettier with Damon Gettier and Associates Realtors. So over 90% of home buyers start their search on the internet. And when I say the internet is whether it be, typing into Google, homes for sale in, Virginia, homes for sale in Roanoke, Virginia, or they go to Zillow, go to Realtor.com, go to Trulia, go to any of those sites. 90% of people start their search on the internet. One thing you do need to know is that when you start your search on the internet, everybody gets their listings from the same place, right? And so a lot of consumers think, you may be thinking, hey, I'm going to go to this site, I'm going to go to Realtor.com, I'm going to go to Zillow, and see what's different on the two sites. Or I'm going to go to Realtor.com, I'm going to Zillow, then I'm going to do a Google search and say, homes for sale in Roanoke, Virginia. When you do that, a lot of times what you're thinking is I'm going to find different results. And while they may be displayed differently, it's going to be the same results. And the reason the same results is this, whether it's my website, which I have, I think, 4 different websites, DamonGettier.net, DamonGettier.com, DamonGettier.co, and probably a couple others I can't remember. And then you have Realtor.com, you have Zillow, you have Trulia, you have Homes.com. All of these sites get their houses from the same place, which is an IDX feed, so it's a RETS feed. The IDX feed is the Internet Data Exchange. And so all of these sites get fed these homes through an IDX feed. The IDX feed, just so you know, it updates every 15 minutes. And so as long as the site updates every 15 minutes, all of mine do, then the houses come up every 15 minutes. It refreshes every 15 minutes, and it'll take anything that's pending comes off, anything that is added goes on as a new listing. And so when you go to these different sites, you're not going to find different houses. Now, how these sites work is this: Realtor.com, Zillow, my site, my competitor sites, all of them have a registration. Some of it's forced, some of it's not. If you're watching this video, at some time you have probably gone onto my site and registered. So what happens then is all these sites tend to start marketing to you, and they're looking to send you houses so that you raise your hand and say, hey, I'm interested. And once you say, hey, I'm interested, then they're going to have agents reaching out to you. Now, the difference between my sites and their sites is going to be Realtor.com and Zillow. When you register on their site, then they sell you got sold to agents. And so Realtor.com and Zillow both will sell you to multiple agents. And so you're wondering, like, my God, I went on this site and I had 18 agents calling me. That's because when you went on to Zillow and Realtor.com, they took your information and they sold it to multiple real estate agents as a lead. We think of you as more than a lead, but they think of you as a lead. And so once that happens, you have all these agents reaching out to you, and they're trying to get you to go from a lead to a client. Now, what we're doing, in total honesty here, is with Project Genesis, which is the video series you're watching, is we're trying to give you the education and the knowledge about what the market is, how the market works, the home buying process. We're trying to build the value with you so that when it's time to buy a house, you think of us and not our competitors. So hopefully we can do that over the course of this series. So early in the series, and if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, we did the 5 things you need to ask an agent before agreeing to hire them. And so what we want to discuss is, who do you work for? Are you a full-time agent? How many homes have you sold this year? Do you have a list of people you recommend to use throughout the process? If an agent can't answer those simple, straightforward questions, I would keep looking. So that video should be popping up on the screen right now. Encourage you to take a second, watch that video so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So most of your qualified agents are going to ask you to come to the office or possibly a coffee shop to meet you for your first appointment. So let's take a second and think about the pros and the cons of that, okay? Pro, number 1, you get to meet them, they get to meet you. And it's really important because if you're going to be buying a house with someone, if you're going to be employing them to work with you, you need to know that you like them and you want to work with them. And let's be honest, sometimes people just don't click. There's some people that you can meet, I don't want to deal with that person. Maybe that's me, hopefully not, but it could be me. So you want to meet that person and see, do I want to meet with them or not? Do I want to work with them or not? Do I want to have a committed relationship for my home buying experience or not? The second thing is this: if you meet at the office or you meet at a restaurant, a neutral place the first time, it's safe for all parties. It's public, it's safe for all parties. You can see who they are, they can see who you are. Nobody's getting scammed by anybody. No catfishing going on. It's not like somebody said this person was showing up, but that person showed up. It's just safe for all parties involved. To satisfy federal law, the real estate agent has to ascertain whether or not you're a U.S. citizen or not. So they should be asking you for a copy of your ID to make sure you're a real person. To satisfy federal law, a real estate agent must ascertain that you are or are not a U.S. citizen. The other important consideration is this, and it's a really important consideration because I want you to think about something. You're buying a house. probably the biggest investment of your life, up to that point at least. You're buying a house. You're going to spend multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're hiring an agent to work for you. Are they able to work for you? That's why you have to have these hard conversations with somebody. Like when I hire you, if a house comes on the market, am I going to be able to see it? In a seller's market, houses sell in days, if not hours, okay? And so you being able to see the house when it comes on the market and when it's convenient to you is really, really important. If you hire an agent that has a life, which everybody has a life, so you need to talk to your agent and find out, what do I do if you can't show the house? And I'll give you a perfect example this weekend. I had somebody email me and say, hey, this house just came on the market. Can you show it to us? I'm like, absolutely. Do you have a real estate agent? Yes, but they're out of town on vacation. And I'm like, I can't. I cannot legally interfere with your agency relationship with your other agent. I'm like, do they have an assistant that can show you? No, they don't have anybody. I'm sorry, you're not looking at a house, y'all. Just the way it is. So you need to find out from your agent, like, when are you available to show? Do you have a backup? On our team, with us, our agents have showing partners. And so there's literally never a time that a house can be shown that you can't see it. And the reason I say it that way is if you want to see it at midnight, the house can't be shown at midnight, okay? It's just not feasible. People live in the house. Our lock boxes don't even work at midnight. It's just not feasible. But on our team, there's really never a time that it's feasible to show a house that you can't see it, because if my agent can't show it to you, then a listing partner can show it to you. And we built that system out because we know that life happens. And we know that when life happens, the fact that my agent isn't available should not impact your ability to see or buy a house. And so we make sure that we give you that ability, but always having someone available to show you that house. It's just a service to you as the client. Next consideration is a strategy session. So your agent should be ready, willing, and able to take an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, sit down with you and explain to you the home buying process. And it doesn't matter whether you bought a house 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or never. It's changed, y'all. It's changed in the last 6 months. And an agent should be ready, willing, and able to actually sit down with you and tell you the cost expected, the timelines, how inspections are working today, applicable state and federal law is today. They should be ready, willing, and able to sit down with you and explain that to you. I can tell you, I can promise you, I've never had a single situation where our team has sat down with the consumer, sat down with someone wanting to buy a house, explained the process, and they said that was a waste of time. It is the most valuable use of time you can get, because look, you're going to spend, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you want to know what to expect. You want to know how the process is going to go. You want to know, how you and your agent can make it smooth for you. And so you want someone to do that. If they don't want to do that, that probably means they don't have a plan, which is not a good plan. Not having a plan, not a good plan. So you can have no agency relationship, which means you don't hire an agent. You're just going to freelance. So we call you a cowboy. Okay. You're going to go out there and call all the listing agents in the world and say, hey, I want to see this house. And it's weird because agents or consumers sometimes think I'm going to get a better deal that way, but you're not. And the reason you're not is this: the commission that is paid by a seller is paid to the listing firm, to the listing agent. It's not paid to the buyer agent. Okay. What a buyer agent makes is between you and the buyer agent. It's not between the seller and the buyer agent. And so all you're doing when you go straight to the listing agent is you're going straight to the sales agent for that seller, and they work for the seller. They do not work for the buyer. The only duty they owe you as a buyer is a duty of honesty. They do not owe you anything else. They don't have to help you. They're actually not allowed to help you, because helping you would be not helping the seller. And so you're not gonna get a better deal. Never, ever have I seen a buyer get a better deal by going straight to the listing agent. All I've seen is heartburn and remorse. And so first type is you're a cowboy. You're gonna go out there and call the listing agents. Listing agents don't really like that. They don't prefer it. Sellers don't like it because they want their agent to represent them. The other option is you sign an exclusive right to represent buyer agreement with your agent, which means you agree to work with that agent and that agent agrees to work with you. If an agent's going to dedicate the time and effort to find you a house, all they're asking in return is loyalty on your part, that you're going to use them to do that. And blatant honestly here, it's a lot of work to find houses for a buyer. It's a lot of work negotiating for a buyer. It's a lot of legwork that you never see. And that's why there are agents, because the legwork's there to be done and you don't have to do it. Now you might ask, as a buyer, what benefit is it to me to have a buyer agent? A seller agent, the seller's agent owes you honesty and that's it. A buyer's agent has a fiduciary duty to you. In other words, they have to help you, they have to advise you what's in your best interest, meaning things like a seller has to disclose only material defects within the four corners of the property. The material defect would be something legal term, and it's something that says if a normal buyer would take exception or not buy the house had they known this, that's a material defect. Okay, a buyer's agent has to tell you anything that you would want to know. An example being, as a seller, I don't have to tell you the roof's at the end of its normal life. As a buyer's agent, if I see the roof is worn and it's missing the sand on it and it's in shiny spots, I need to tell you that roof's at the end of its serviceable life. The seller agent doesn't have to tell you that the electrical's never been upgraded. The buyer agent, if they see the electrical's never been upgraded, they cover to the breaker box, they see it's 100 amp running an AC unit and an oven and a dryer, like, hey, you might be at max capacity here. The seller's agent doesn't have to tell you that they're putting in a rehab center for meth heads next door. A buyer's agent, if they know, has to tell you they're putting in a rehab. They have to tell you everything. The seller only has to say within the four corners material defects. Buyer's agent has to represent your best interests, meaning if they think you would want to know, they have to tell you. So hopefully you're now signed up with a dedicated buyer's agent who is going to work their butt off for you and in your best interests. So federal laws, do's and don'ts. And why would we talk about this? We're talking about real estate agents. Good reasons. You might hire your agent, ask some questions that they cannot answer. They just absolutely cannot answer. Some of those might be, if you ask a question related to that are based on age, sex, familial status, race, religion, or national origin, they can't answer those things. We sell houses. We cannot discriminate, and all of those topics are discrimination. Your real estate agent should not be giving out crime statistics. It is increasingly hard to find crime statistics from the police department. Like, they give such general crime statistics. It's such a broad area. They might say, hey, that area is really good, when actually that particular block isn't so good. Or they might say, hey, that area is bad and it's just one little section that's bad. Agents shouldn't be giving out crime statistics. Again, if you care, go knock on the doors and ask the neighbors. They're gonna have the most insight on that neighborhood. That's part of your due diligence that you have to do, that your agent legally just cannot do. If you have an agent ever say, oh, I wouldn't live there, you got an agent that's already breaking the law. Are they breaking the law for you or against you? Like, where did they draw the line? Okay. And that's one thing I would really tell you to hesitate on. But if you ask your agent a question and they answer it, you're like, oh, they weren't supposed to answer that. But if they just broke the law for you that quick, how quick would they break the law to make a commission check? The knife cuts both ways. If they're having conversations with you that are not legal, that are not ethical, that are not above board, then I wouldn't want them to represent me, because if they're willing to break the law for nothing, what would they do for a commission check? Just finding the right house. That's the goal, right? That's what we all want to do, is find the right house. So this concludes today's video. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below any questions you may have about the content in this video. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, please reach out to us at Damon, Gettier & Associates, brokered by Real.